I have found this simple story about dying. When our elderly mother was on her deathbed at the nursing home, we were all with her and we all felt Mum was holding on because we were all there. But of course, we wanted to be with her. Suddenly, the nun who was the administrator walked into the room, nodded to us, and approached my mum. She got close to her ear and began loudly to say, Katie, Katie, remember that Jesus told his disciples that he was leaving to prepare a place for them. He has prepared a place for you. It's ready. You can go. She then said a short blessing and left. As the nun was going out of the room, we all turned back to Mum, just in time to watch her take her last breath and pass away peacefully. One of my older brothers, pointing to the door of the room, immediately said, well, there goes the angel of death, referring to the nun who was just leaving. Through our tears, we all laughed out loud. Life, love, laughter are words that will always, always remind me of my mum. Today's Gospel presents us with two stories, two kinds of death. The premature death of a 12-year-old girl, the daughter of Jairus, and the slow death of an adult woman. The 12-year-old girl died at the age when, in Jewish culture, at 12, the child would officially be considered a grown-up, an adult woman who would be having the first experience of menstruating, a sure sign that she grew old enough to conceive, to give birth to a new life. The child at that age became a fertile woman. The adult woman, on the other hand, had been bleeding for 12 years. She could not bear a child because of her 12-year-long struggle with menstrual bleeding. Whilst a young 12-year-old died just when she was on the very point of being able to conceive life, the adult mature woman found herself that she could not give birth to a new life because of her condition. In traditional Jewish culture, this amounted to one big curse. Both the adolescent girl and the mature old woman, they both could not give life. The young girl was the victim of a premature death instead of growing up to become a source of life. The adult woman, on the other hand, was herself bleeding to death instead of giving a new life. In today's Gospel, Jesus is called to face death in a straightforward, face-to-face encounter challenge. Which is stronger, life or death? Who is going to have the last word? Life or death? When faced by death, our first reaction is just like that of the friends of Jairus. Your daughter has died. Why trouble the teacher any longer? In spite of our high hopes in Jesus, death does indeed seem to have the last word. The adult woman who for 12 long years, which in Hebrew culture meant all her life, had endured the draining away of her ability to give life. And her only hope was Jesus. She eagerly approached him in full trust, seeing him as the source of the life she was so thirsty to have and so eager to give. If I but touch his clothes, I shall be cured. Even here, we must keep in mind that touching the clothes meant much more for the Jews than just showing devotion or respect. Touching the clothes meant touching the very heart and the very personality of Jesus, and therefore sharing in his own goodness, in his own power. This touch was not just a touch to draw the attention of Jesus. It was the touch of faith that connected the woman's faith in Jesus as the source of the life that she was so thirsty to have and to give. This touch transformed both Jesus and the sick woman at the same time. She no longer remained an anonymous broken woman lost in the crowd. Her sickness became his, and his healing love became hers. Your faith has saved you. Go in peace, be cured, he told the woman. It is this communion with Jesus that made her whole again. She became one with the source of life. Now she could give life because Jesus is the life that is stronger than death. I am the life, said Jesus. He who believes in me will have everlasting life. That poor sick woman had found and embraced the source of life in Jesus. In the meantime, the friends of Jairus brought the sad news of the death of his young daughter. They were resigned to the fact that now it was too late. Your daughter has died. Why trouble the teacher any longer? For them, like for us, it seemed that death has the last and final word, the point of no return. Death is stronger than life. Not so for Jesus. His only words to Jairus were, do not be afraid, just have faith. The child is not dead, but asleep. In other words, believe that life is stronger than death, because it is life that will always have the last word and not death, which only provoked the ridicule of the skeptics, whom he quickly sent all out of the room. Life belongs to the believers and not to the mourners. Yes, with Jesus there is always a tomorrow for those who believe in today. Life is always today's gift, and yet it is always tomorrow's promise. Woe to us if we live just for today. We shall die prematurely without giving life to anyone else. Yes, we need to live fully today, but at the same time believe just as fully in tomorrow. In a simple but powerful statement, Jesus asked the young girl's parents two things. Do not tell anyone, which means life is a sacred gift. But he quickly added, give her something to eat, which means life is a sacred task also. Life is not sustained by some exciting babbling, empty talk, or impressive gossip. Life is sustained by a day-to-day, humble, faithful acceptance of our neediness. Give her something to eat, said Jesus. Let us get down to the hard but beautiful reality of life. Faith without action is simply an escape into cuckoo land. But action without faith is turning life into a meaningless chore that we call survival. Our God is the source of life and not just the master of life. God is the love that gives meaning and purpose to life. And when life becomes love, it will always be stronger than death. It will always have the last word because life is greater than death. God bless you and thank you.